Hey everyone, it's Phoebe. I hope you're all safe and well. Okay, so I'm going to dive pretty much straight into the video today. I'm not going to be doing too much waffling. You'll actually hear Jackson Boo Boo contributing, as he often likes to, when he gets really angry at what Armchair Detective is saying, or should I say lying. Just a couple of quick things. When I repeat clips, it's not because I think you haven't heard it the first time. In my last video, I felt like a little bit of a hypocrite because I said something like, why does AD feel the need to say things more than once? But I often repeat things. It's not because I don't think you've understood it. It's because I'm trying to make a bit of a point. So that's the only reason that I will replay a clip. I hope that makes sense. I think that's pretty much all I've got to say at the moment. I'll probably remember something else again in a minute. So anyway, stop the waffling, Phoebes, and get on with it. So today we're addressing a debunking of Armchair Detective, where he believes that the state have admitted to having no physical evidence. And then it gets even worse, because a couple of days later he did another live, and one of his viewers, Katie, was not challenging him, but trying to tell him, AD, you've got it wrong. And he absolutely flew at her in that awful tone of his, you know. He kept saying, do you understand now, Katie? Do you see what I mean now, Katie? You know, that awful tone that he uses, that condescending, intimidating, almost like he's trying to intimidate her, but it's very patronising, that's the word. So anyway, let's dive straight into it, guys, because it's going to be long enough as it is. Okay, this first part is a separate issue. I don't know what, boo-boo, a separate mistake that he's made, because again, he just does not check the facts, does he? He's not thorough. So I'll just play a little clip for you and then you'll see what I mean. Sorry, I should just let you know, he's reading from a newspaper article, you know, mainstream media, that he said we should just ignore, you know, that it's all rubbish. Mainstream media just talk a load of rubbish and lie to everybody. So he's reading an article about plea deals, not Chris Watts in particular, but just plea deals in general.
Prosecutors take account how a jury would react had the case gone to trial, and how likely is it the judge would approve given agreement. Luke Hunt, a former law clerk and district judge, also professor at Redford University, said his concerns about plea bargaining, not because he thinks that the guilty are getting light sentences. He said, I'm not saying that all plea bargains are bad and should be done away with, but there's very one-sided arrangement where one party has almost complete control. The negotiations are usually quite unfair. Here, Professor Judge. I like this guy, Hunt, Professor and Judge.
Before we continue, let's just hear again how he refers to Luke Hunt. Just listen to his voice, because he is hesitant and he has very good reason to be.
Luke Hunt, a former law clerk and district judge. Here, Professor Judge. I like this guy, Hunt, Professor and Judge.
I don't know whether you've felt the same, but I wondered if Luke Hunt was a law clerk and then a judge, what happened in between? You don't go from being a law clerk to a judge without being a prosecutor or, you know, defence lawyer in between, do you? So I found the article that he was referring to, and it was from the Greeley Tribune. And Luke Hunt wasn't ever a judge. He worked as a former law clerk to a US District Court judge, and he is a current assistant professor at Radford University. So as one of Judge Jones's two law clerks, Hunt conducted legal research, etc., etc. So here we have Luke Hunt, and here we have Judge Jones. So he was never a judge, never ever a judge. AD, you're wrong. Again, you just don't pay attention to details. And it makes me laugh when your subs write in the comments, oh, you're amazing, AD. You pay such attention to detail.
Here, Professor Judge. I like this guy, Hunt, Professor and Judge.
It's not exactly rocket science, is it? It's just paying attention to detail. And of course, he likes to think that he's in agreement with a judge and a professor. And his subscribers will think, oh, Luke Hunt must be very impressive because AD agrees with him. AD likes him. Oh, he must be very, very important then. You know, and AD just laps up all that, doesn't he? Gives that impression of, yes, I agree with you, you know. So moving on now, we're going to look at where AD has got Chris Watts's plea deal. Now, why he's looking back at the plea deal, I have no idea. It makes me think that he's just trying to find anything to talk about. So let's take a look from the live that he did last week on the 7th of August regarding Chris Watts's plea deal. He thinks he's caught the state out in another big mistake.
Would Chris have been treated the same way if the judge had known all those facts? Or would there have been a different way? Was he, in fact, railroaded? What are they up to? What are they up to? This is a general discussion that we're having tonight. But there is a more important thing. There is a drop the mic thing that a lot of you don't know about it.
Yes, there is a drop the mic moment that none of us know about because it's not true, AD. What you're about to say is totally incorrect. Now, guys, if you see the video jumping around a little bit, it's because I've removed a lot of dead air. That's the only reason the video may jump. I haven't edited the video to suit my own agenda. I promise you that.
Ronnie asked him for the truth, and Chris sort of lied. But was he protecting somebody? Okay. This is the bit you have never seen, or most of you have never seen.
Sorry to interject here, but it really winds me up when he says that most of you have never seen. You haven't seen it before. I mean, it's just because he thinks he's the only person in the world that's ever found that information. Unless he shows it to you, you can't have possibly ever seen it from... You know, you couldn't have possibly found it for yourself, could you?
Okay. This is the bit you have never seen, or most of you have never seen. Take a picture of it. I will read it to you. This is official document here. The People Estate in Colorado versus Christopher Lee Watts. The defendant was found guilty in all the charges, which we agreed. But look at the bottom. I know you can't see it, I'm going to read it to you. Evidence log provided in the discovery. Now, write this down as I say it. There is no physical evidence in this case.
Okay, so before we move on, I'm going to try really hard to explain what he's looking at. He's looking at the plea deal. And at the very bottom, it's talking about evidence. So on the left-hand side, it says evidence log provided in discovery. And you'll see that there's a checkbox that has been ticked. And then on the right-hand side, it says there is no physical evidence in this case. Now look at the tick box. It is not ticked. And he's got that totally wrong. That box is not ticked. So therefore, they have not said that there is no physical evidence, have they? Because if they meant to say there is no physical evidence, then they would have ticked that box. Does that all make sense, guys? I hope it does.
There is no physical evidence in this case. Hang on a minute. There is no physical evidence. Right. There's no physical evidence. How many times have I got to say that? There's no physical evidence. None. I have the proof. There it is. That's in the same piece of paper as the plea deal. We have no physical evidence. Nothing. How does that work then? There's a trial. That goes to trial. There's a trial. How does that work? We've got no physical evidence.
Oh, AD, do we have to explain everything to you? This was a plea agreement. There wasn't going to be a trial. They were avoiding trial by signing the agreement.
That's the plea deal.
Oh, so you do recognise that it's the plea deal, AD. So what's the issue? Why are you saying about a trial. There was never going to be one. So moving on.
We have no physical evidence. They don't have one iota of evidence. They got nothing. Other than Chris's false confession. They tried him on a false confession. His confession was that Shanann did it. They tried him on that.
Again, AD, there was no trial. He was not tried. He pled guilty. He accepted a plea deal. There was no trial.
That was it. He only had to say, I'm not guilty. And they go, well, we haven't got any evidence to say he was. Nothing.
Oh, AD, you make it sound so very, very simple, don't you? Right. On and on he goes about the fact that they've admitted that they haven't got any physical evidence. And then he gets in, a few days later, he gets into an almighty dispute, shall we say, with one of his viewers. So we're going to take a look at that in a moment.
This is the big one. Chris Watts said the family were carried out and loaded on the truck like trash. If he's got that on film, that's physical evidence. They've just said they've got no physical evidence. So did he lie to the Ruseks when he said they were carried out like trash? Because he's just said he hasn't got any physical evidence.
I think he meant to refer to DA Rourke there, not Chris Watts.
That would be physical evidence, right? No, they admit they've got no physical evidence. They haven't. They got circumstantial. I just want the truth. I just want the truth.
Well, you're never going to get to the truth, AD, unless you start reading documents properly. You and your team, who come into play a little bit later, don't they, when you're having a go at Katie. So just get it right. Don't be in such a rush. Don't think that you know everything all the time. You can't possibly be wrong, can you, AD? Well, you are wrong on this occasion, and I hope to goodness that you do apologise to Katie. We'll find out about Katie in a little while.
No physical evidence. No physical evidence.
Oh, well, that came round quick because we're here now at this part. So this is a couple of days later, Tuesday the 11th, I think, but that doesn't really make any difference, where he still believes that the state have said that they have got no physical evidence. He's not, the penny hasn't dropped that that box wasn't ticked.
The fact they sold it means there's no evidence. The fact in that piece of paper I've got on the front there says, we have no physical evidence.
Oh, again, the box isn't ticked.
Now listen to me, Katie. They have no physical evidence. Does that mean, Katie, there is no DNA? How can you murder people in the truck and there's no DNA? Katie, there's no forensics on the discovery file. It's just a list of stuff they found. Katie, are you even listening to me? Katie, I suggest you do something else, honestly. Either you're not listening to me or you're just being pedantic.
No, she's not being pedantic, AD. She's trying to tell you that you're wrong. When he reads out her comment, I think he says the doc, as in the document, because Katie is trying to tell AD what we know, that that box is not ticked. If it was ticked, then yes, fair enough, but he's got it the wrong way round.
The doc really does not say there's no evidence. Yeah, it does, Katie, as it says, and I quote, we have no physical evidence, and I quote, unquote. Not be rude to you, you're being rude to me. I'm telling you stuff and you're telling me I'm lying. So what can I do? It's very difficult for me to continue. I've had a long day and I've got somebody in chat that's calling me a liar, and I'm telling them what the truth is.
No, AD, she's not calling you a liar. She's telling you that you're wrong. Why do you have to assume because somebody is wrong that they automatically are a liar? Is that how your brain works? Because my brain doesn't work like that. If you're wrong, you're wrong. A lie is very, very different. Unless, of course, unless you know that you are not telling the truth, then you would be a liar. I don't think he's lying. He's just wrong. But isn't it interesting, that thought that when someone's wrong, they're lying? Or is he really telling the truth? I think he is, yeah, because he's just very, very wrong.
There is no physical evidence. They admit that in the affidavit, okay? I went through this the other night and I showed it to you. Emma, send me the thing where it says they got no physical evidence, please. I'll show you, Casey. I'm not having a row with you. I'm not being rude to you. I'm being honest with you. I'm allowed to be honest with you, right? The fact they sold the truck means they got all the DNA they want. Yeah, sure. There is no physical evidence. There is no physical evidence. There is no physical evidence.
Shh, Jackson. Boo-boo.
Oh, it's hot. Some of you have read it. I gave it to you. Remember I did a show on it last week and gave it to you. We have no physical evidence, Katie. Tick. We have no physical evidence, Katie. Tick.
Oh my goodness. Are you just making such a fool of yourself, AD? We have no physical evidence. Tick. That's precisely the point. The box is not ticked. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have no words.
Where does it say it, Emma? Can you underline it for me, please? I haven't got time to find it. Can you underline it for me, please? You have to find it for me, Emma. I can't see it. I'm also very tired. Could do with some help. There's the tick box for evidence. If there was evidence, Katie, see that box? That would be ticked. It's not ticked, Katie.
No, AD, it's the other way around. Look, I'll show you. So on the left, it says evidence log provided in discovery, and that box is checked. And then it says or, and on the right it says there is no physical evidence in this case. You can only have one or the other, AD. There's or in the middle. I don't know how else I can explain it to you. And I just think it's troublesome because your subscribers believe you. They don't think for themselves. They just accept what you say as gospel.
If there was evidence, Katie, see that box? That would be ticked. It's not ticked. We have no physical evidence, Katie. Tick. So, as it's not ticked, I have to show you this, Katie, and I don't mind you apologising, because it'd be nice if you did. There's the actual words. Can you see that? Can you see that, Katie? I'll read it to you. There is no physical evidence in this case. And there's the box that you so eloquently told me about, not ticked. Now let that be the end of it, Katie. I accept your apology. Thank you.
Wow, just wow. Really? He can't even hear the own words coming out of his mouth, can he? He just doesn't get it. And I'm surprised that Emma hasn't, I'm surprised that she hasn't clicked. We shall see in a minute how AD feels about that.
I don't need to have to justify when I say, do I? To everybody? If I tell you something, folks, we've checked it out over and over and over and over and over. We don't just say things because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm telling you the data. I'm waiting for an apology. No, the no evidence is not selected. No, the no evidence is not selected.
See, she's trying to tell him the no evidence is not selected. It's like a double negative in a way, isn't it?
Kate, I'm not going to speak to you anymore. I'm done. I proved it to you. I can't go any further. Thank you.
Well, I suggest that Slick Vic puts her glasses on and takes another look and engages her brain while she looks with her glasses on. Also, Just Joy is going to be making an appearance a little bit later. And Just Joy replied to a comment on Ellen Vaughan's channel. You're too pretty to be a bully. You can do other things to get subscribers. Then she added, that mask is terrible. But then she edited her post, so she took the that mask is terrible off. But of course, on the original notification, I saw it. So what mask, Just Joy? I did ask you, but you didn't come back and reply to me that I'm aware of. So are you saying that I'm wearing a mask because I'm not really the person who I portray myself to be on here. Well, you can ask anyone. This is me, you know, this is who I am. I'm not perfect, you know, but I'm not putting on any pretenses either. So I'm not wearing a mask, but thank you for taking the time to comment. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Ellen Vaughan's channel, by the way. She does really funny videos, very different to mine. Mine are more serious, aren't they? But Ellen is absolutely hilarious. She'll have you in fits. So go and take a look, please, at Ellen Vaughan's channel. It's about AD, of course.
I don't trust anyone. I always look at the facts. And Emma's fantastic. Emma would not be backing me up saying there's no physical evidence if there was. And Emma's fantastic.
Well, maybe Emma isn't as fantastic as you think she is, AD, because she's got it wrong as well. So maybe Emma needs to join Slick Vic and put her glasses on as well. Katie isn't the one that needs glasses, guys. She really isn't. She got it right. Now, when I was watching this video of AD's, I was wondering, what would a body language expert make of his, you know, putting his hand on his head when he's talking about checking the facts? We all know how AD loves to do his own body language analysis. So what would he make of himself saying, I only stick to the facts, or I only check the facts, or whatever it was that he was saying? And as he does that, he's putting his hand on his head. AD, what's your analysis of yourself there, I wonder?
I always look at the facts. Do you know what this is called, folks? It's called disruption. I don't know who she is. She might be a great supporter of mine, but she's disrupted the old show now.
It's not disruption, AD. She's trying to correct you. You will not listen to anybody, will you? You would not take a step back and think, hang on a minute, has Katie's got something here? Maybe I am wrong. You just always have to stick to your own narrative, and there's no one that can tell you any different. Well, I hope that Emma was listening to Katie, and maybe she will put you straight, and maybe you will apologise to Katie. Disruption. Oh, I nearly said a bad word then.
I can only tell you, I can't disagree because I just showed you the facts. The box isn't ticked.
Okay, guys, we're almost there. Just continuing with the, what's the word? Patronising behaviour of Armchair Detective.
She means well, yeah. But she's a little confused, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Yes, there is something you can do, Armchair Detective. You can apologise to Katie and learn from her. Learn from your viewers. You know, we're not all stupid.
I've got a white Twix to Katie. You give me your address, I'll send you a white Twix.
Oh my goodness, nobody give him your address. He's been doing this thing recently where he's been asking his viewers for their full names and their dates of birth. Don't give him any information, please. Regardless of what he may do with your personal details, he doesn't take the videos down afterwards. He leaves them up so anybody watching those videos, looking at the live chat, will see all those women's details because, yeah, they provided him with their full name and their date of birth. Oh, yes. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? But anyone can have a look at their details. Identity theft is rife these days. So please, please be careful.
Just Joy knows there's no physical evidence. Just Joy knows there's no physical evidence.
There we go. Just Joy also knows that there's no physical evidence. So I'd be really intrigued to know where you found that information from, Just Joy.
I'll show you the facts. Now, what I'm trying to say is this series is to prove that I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And I've got somebody in chat telling me I'm a conspiracy theorist. It's difficult for me, isn't it? Well, I'm working so hard to tell you I only work on the facts, you know? Oh, I haven't done much today, have I? I've only, sorted out the vindication and the last 6 hours.
Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit sarcastic here, guys, and say, oh, boo-hoo. AD, this is your job, isn't it? You know, you have to work to earn your money from your Patreons. It's your job. So why are you complaining? And anyway, you haven't vindicated Shanann. DA Rourke did that very clearly at the sentencing. Very clearly. You didn't vindicate her, AD. Although you take the credit for it, you didn't. DA Rourke did. And it's Rourke, not O'Rourke. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little bit irate now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't raise my voice. It's just very hard not to sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to do my recommendations now for something to watch, as well as my true crime fact. So firstly, I'm going to recommend two things today, because some of you in my live the other night would know about one of them. So my first recommendation is called The Fall. But before I forget...
Write this down as I say it. Write this down as I say it.
Sorry guys, I couldn't resist that one. So my first recommendation is with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick, and it's a movie called A Simple Favour. It's on Netflix from 2018. It's a comedy, very, very easy to watch if you want something to snuggle up on, you know, on a Sunday afternoon and watch. Very easy going. But it's not a hilariously funny comedy, but it's dry humour, and there is like a murderous twist with, you know, lots of lying going on, and yeah, it's got a big twist at the end, so I'd highly recommend that. So that's A Simple Favour. Now, I'm not a movie buff, so my descriptions aren't going to be particularly amazing. They're just recommendations. So my second one is The Fall, which is a BBC drama. It's a thriller. It's very suspenseful. Gillian Anderson from The X-Files and Jamie Dornan, who of course was Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. That's on Netflix as well. I really recommend. It will keep you on the edge of your seats. It's 3 series. Highly recommended. And now for my true crime fact. Did you know that glitter is so unique that it can be effectively used as forensic evidence? Because there are thousands of different types of commercial glitters, any glitter particles found on a suspect can be compelling evidence that they were actually at a crime scene where an identical glitter particle was found. So there we go. We have to be careful when we're going out with glitter on. I often wear glitter in my hair on a special occasion. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. It's been a long video, hasn't it? But I do hope that you've enjoyed it. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like AD's never going to stop, doesn't it? But we can only keep going onwards and upwards and hope that he learns from us, you know. So I shall say goodbye for now. I did want to say thank you to Lizzie for allowing me to use her footage. Thank you, Lizzie. And I did check with her before I used her name, and it's all good. So thanks, Lizzie. You're a little superstar. Take very good care, everyone. I love you lots, and I shall speak to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
And Emma's fantastic.